City Sprinter. It's one of them American trains, Amtrak, and she's at the airport. That's the terminal at the airport, Newark. Yeah, it's a nice sort of spring summery day. Quite nice looking trains, aren't they? Anyway, today I've got the keyboard attached to my Xbox, and it actually works to a point. Well, it does work, but some of the features don't work. I found out that I think the blurriness that I don't like, and the way that the wheels look, is something that's been fixed on the PC for ages. It's motion blur. If you've ever played a PC game, you'll know that usually they're very customizable regarding graphics, and you can turn motion blur off. So I investigated that on it's on the keyboard. It's Control F2, but it doesn't work on Xbox, so it's not a feature that you've got. So it's not optional. Hopefully they'll maybe give you an option in future, so that we're not subject to all this all the time. But the keyboard can be used for lots of things, including that the British Rail sort of horn. So that's on the space bar and the N key. Look at these MDFs. That's wood, in it. Multifunction displays. You can switch them, all sorts of stuff. In fact, there's quite a lot of things on that, and some of it works. One of them you can get up how many feet you've gone. I can't seem to find that again. But it is in one of these displays somewhere. The other thing is that having the keyboard attached, I can now get rid of the heads-up display whenever I want. So you may have noticed on them opening credits that that's exactly what I did do. I got rid of the head-up display. These trains are nice. I mean, I'm dwelling on these dials a bit here, but the passengers are loading, and you don't get time on this scenario to walk about. But I've been messing about that much that I've not noticed that the passengers have all got on rather. I have now, obviously. Pretty powerful train as well. It stops and goes. The brakes are exceptional. This is 4th time I've done this scenario, and I think I must, judging by how far I was into it on the 3 preceding attempts, I got cut out by a red signal, and on this scenario it doesn't happen, and I don't understand why. I'm using the keyboard here, but it's on the boom camera. You see it flashing in and out. You use the cursor keys and you can move in and out, but I'm using the controller as well. Then pantographs move up and down. You might have noticed that on the intro if you did watch it. But they do move up and down. You see, I've got the heads up display off, and I've just put it's showing how many frames per second. It's running about 30 to 32 or something like that, 36 frames a second. I'm pretty sure it's not in 4K. I think it's only 1080, but I might be wrong. It's just that when you do the screenshots on it, it doesn't have that. Mind you, there's 4K and there's 4K. There's 4K with high dynamic range, and the high dynamic range you get 2 files. On standard 4K you just get a standard PNG file, because the separate file is overlaid and it gives you the dynamic range on top of the PNG file. It does it invisibly on Xbox. It's if you take your memory stick out and look at it on your PC, the PC doesn't display the pictures properly, it displays them separately. Yeah. Or rather it doesn't, because it won't open the high dynamic range part of it. Not properly anyway. But that's beside the point. You see, it's a lot better without the head-up display. You know, for doing this kind of thing that I'm doing now, you know, if you're wanting to make a bit of video or something like that, it's much nicer. Quite a lot of detail on these trains. See the pipes moving. Might even look like there's fly splatters on that paint or dirt or something. I think it's doing over 70 mile an hour here, but you see all the hood's gone completely, so I've not even any idea how far it is to the next stop. 82 mile an hour. But you can see that the brakes do work. Yeah, he thought he'd gone past us, but we've caught him up now. That's quite some braking force there, isn't it? See the speed just start bleeding off. For some reason as well, it started getting a bit tetchy where you were stopping the train. It was like within feet of it. It still wouldn't let me open the doors, but I don't know if there was something else going on there or not. Maybe something I've not noticed. But I got fairly used to driving train, and I'm using like the electric brake, or rather it's all on one handle, but you won't see me using the handles because I'm using the controller. So it's when you come off the throttle and keep coming off it, you've then got minus throttle, which is like the electric brake, and it starts putting amps back into the system, and it does slow you down. See, I've just overshot it a little there by just a few yards. But on, I think it might be up next stop. I can't remember because I did do this scenario quite a few times and get it wrong, and one of them I overshot, but I didn't want to end the game. It's just that the game messed me about a lot, getting me to. I had to reverse back quite a long way, because I'd overshot. Because I wasn't paying attention. Reverse back in at station, then it wouldn't let me open the doors, and then I went forward, backwards, and then suddenly it just worked. But anyway, I abandoned that attempt. But the 3 times I went through a red when we're quite, and that's end of scenario straight away. Well, it's when you see this, it'll be a totally different day. It won't even be. I doubt it'll even be the same month. It's 10th of February at the moment. And the reason I'm doing them I'm just doing them while I'm actually playing the game, because I'll tend. This is why I don't like it when you set the horn off. You have to cancel the bell, and the lights flash at the front. You get alternating. I ain't got it on this video. The headlights flash alternating left and right when that's going. Yeah. What were I saying? Yeah, when games come out, I like to play them, and I'll play them to death usually. Depending on game, things like World of Tanks, they're much longer term things, and Forza Motorsport, they're much longer term things. Your racing games where you can do hot lapping and things like that, that's almost infinite how long you can play them. But generally, things like your Grand Theft Autos, Skyrim, Witcher, the sort of games that you maybe, there's a limited amount of hours before you really get bored, or before I really get bored. So that's nice, isn't it? Going over rivers in New York. I think that one begins with P, but I can't remember what it's called. But in it does look like the area to me, from what I've seen from films and like Grand Theft Auto and things like that. Eventually we go under a tunnel under the what's it called, Hudson, when we go into Penn Station, which I think that's Pennsylvania Station, and that's the one near Statue of Liberty, which you don't get to see, I don't think. Mind you, I hadn't really looked around. But Penn Station's near Statue of Liberty. I think it's 8th Avenue or something, or is it Street? I can't remember. They've got a good system, haven't they, in states where it makes life really easy, because you can turn up as a stranger and more or less be able to find places. That reminds me of Project Gotham Racing. We had everything like Worth and Walker Street. Ooh, I'm running on battery. Didn't realise. I just turned the laptop on. Put it on so that the power's running it now, not the battery. Yeah, Project Gotham with all them different streets and all that in it. And then you've got your Grand Theft Autos and stuff like that, Liberty City. Which does look remarkably like it, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I was saying about the games when they come out, I don't like them to be patched. And it's not that I don't like them to be patched, I think it's unnecessary that they should be released and then patched. That's what I don't like. Maybe a day one patch if something's turned up really late, but it's when you get these games and you have to have these little workarounds in them all the time, and they're not really working properly, and you've just bought it. See, by the time patch comes out, I've normally played out. I've had enough of the game already, and then they put the patch out, and then it works. But I've already finished it, if you know what I mean, and I don't then want to go back to it, which is why quite a lot now. The last Red Dead Redemption were an exception, because I don't like the game anyway. I just find it boring going over another river. It is. I think it's new. There's a lot of water around here, isn't there, in New York, and that is it the bay and all that, isn't it, where Statue of Liberty is? Is it Newark Bay? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I just don't like Red Dead Redemption. It wasn't that there were any particular bugs in it that I noticed. It's just the day and night cycle weren't very good. I don't know if they fixed that. It just didn't work. And the weather cycle, it looked like the one out of that other game that came out. I can't remember what it was. It was a real disappointment though. It was like The Godfather or something like that. Done where the guy was ex-Vietnam veteran or something like that, and it looked really good, and then it wasn't, and the game was awful. It was really awful. But what I'm trying to get at is that I want to play the game when I've got it. So what I tend, and it's fully working, that is. Don't have to rely on patches. So what I'll tend to do now is I'll just leave them for 6 months to a year, and not only can you get them cheaper, they're usually patched. I didn't get Witcher for I think it was a good year after it had come out, possibly, and I didn't have to suffer through any system crashes. I don't even know if there were any bugs in that game or not. I'm doing 83 mile an hour. I don't know if there are any bugs or nasties in that game, because it didn't affect me. I just thoroughly enjoyed the game while I played it. And I can't remember how many hours. It was 60 to 100 hours, maybe even more. And I played that game, and I really enjoyed it. And it was really nice graphics and all that. And I tend to do that now with quite a few of them. I'm not a Battlefield fanatic. I don't play Call of Duty, but I'll dabble in Battlefield. But like Battlefield 4, I picked it up for less than £10 with loads and loads of stuff, loads and loads of free stuff, and it just worked. There wasn't no messing about. All the servers worked. Battlefield 1 same. I got that for less than £10, and it was crap. But at least it was crap and it worked. I say it worked. You could never. It was really hard getting in a multiplayer game with your mate or your mates, which to me is very strange. It didn't seem to want to squad you up, which is a backward step. And unfortunately, I just before Christmas or just after Christmas, I got this Battlefield 5, and that's just a complete look. No, I can't swear. A mess. And half of it wasn't working, and just the way, just everything about it's gone totally to arcade side of it. Everything was too fast, if you know what I mean. It was running around. It was like playing Call of Duty, except Call of Duty do that kind of gameplay better. The Twitch sort of shooting, or where reactions a bit better. There were no vehicles in it. I never even got in a vehicle in Battlefield 5, and that's the whole point of them. You used to like the tanks, and then you had some airplanes, and the helicopters, which were, the controls on them were always weird, but you could get used to them. So, yeah, I hadn't even gone back to Battlefield 5, and I don't intend to either. I don't think that game's ever going to be any good. It's a complete mess, and I won't be buying another. Like, I won't buy Call of Duty, because I don't like Call of Duty. Not because they've done it particularly wrong, or put out buggy games. It's just that, I mean, I basically have got a one-man veto on Codemaster games. Not that they even know, but they've just... Codemaster went through a patch where they were terrible at just fixing stuff, and they just sort of hung you out to dry, just left you to it, saying, we're not fixing it, screw you. So I don't even buy their stuff anymore. Not that any bit's any good. I don't even know if they exist anymore, Codemasters. So I'm using the keyboard. You can use the 1, 2, 3 and 8 keys to get external views. That's the back of the train, that's the front of the game. So you got boom camera, free camera. You can press F1, that gets rid of the heads-up display. The horns, space and N. I think you can pretty much use any. You just plug. I've got a USB keyboard, and it's not wireless, and I just plugged it straight into a front USB port. And you know, if you can type into the instead of using the in-game keyboard, you can just use your keyboard. You know what I mean? If you're doing that, I haven't tried the messaging, but in this game, you know, if you make a new character, you can use your keyboard to type the name in and things like that, and you still use your controller at the same time. I don't know if you noticed, I had a bit of trouble getting it so that I could open doors. And now I'm wondering why train won't start again, I think. Got it going eventually. These trains are actually nice. It's the British ones, in it, that look like there's some. Mind you, they are old, aren't they? The British ones. The Transpennine Pack's got very old engines in it, and so is the West Somerset one. It's just the packs are too expensive, though. I mean, I've mentioned that before. Accelerates fast, and it's nice change to have a nice day in it. Them European ones, it's like something's miserable in it. Absolutely miserable. It's always raining or misty. I suppose you do get different weather. Mind you, having said that, if you're doing the stuff that's not scenario, the stuff that's what do they call it? It's not missions, services. That's it, services. You can choose time of year and weather. Quite a few options for weather. If you look back, I did a service with a British freight train, and it was I think I titled it something haulage or freight, something in the snow. But it, you know, again, they've done a good job of making it look like the time of year. I mean, this even looks like early morning, doesn't it? You know, the sunshine, lengthening shadows, and it's nice. It looks nice. I mean, I would prefer the graphics to be sharper, but overall, you get the idea of what you're at. It's like, you know, Farm Simulator. They were the same thing. Graphics were never the strong point on them, apart from the machines, which they did great models of them, didn't they? See, I think we're going down quite a grade here. Eventually, we're going to go under Hudson River, and I think this might be the section where we go under it. Yeah, that's the start of the tunnel, and it goes downhill quite a long way. And I'm using the electric brake at some stage on it to hold the speed back. But if you see the light at the end of the tunnel, they've kind of got that wrong. You can see it. It looks like you're approaching something, but you're not. It just then, as you get close, what appears to be getting close, see there. So that's a bit of a nasty little glitch. It takes out the sort of realism. You shouldn't really be seeing any light down there, should you? You should just see lights going off in that distance. There shouldn't be a mass of light. I don't think there should anyway. But that kind of ruins it a little bit, you know, when it just looked like you were approaching something, suddenly it popped back. Yeah, this is quite a feat of engineering, isn't it? Going underneath this river. This is that river that pilot ditched into, I think, isn't it? And they made a film out of it, Sully. That was a good film, that. He did an amazing job, that pilot, didn't he? Then they tried to get him in the crap for it, according to the film. I think they did it. I think it's fairly true to life, that, isn't it? Whatever happened in that film. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Saved everybody though, didn't he? Yeah, look at that. It's a hell of a tunnel. But you'll see it. I can't see it on here, so because the display I'm looking at on the PC on this editing software is too small. But if you're looking at the gradient, it goes down and down and down, and then it starts going up. And you can see the train's decelerating a bit. So I had a little bit more power at some stage, and then you come out over top. It's quite a steep gradient as well. In fact, it's one of the steepest I've seen in game, anywhere in game so far. You know, in any of the countries that you drive these trains in. That's just a view of the thing. So we'd be other side of river by now, other side of Hudson. I think now we're coming up. Now you see it just switched there. The graphics sort of glitched, don't they? Yeah, I could do without that. I think they could have done a better job with graphics conversion on this. But it shows you what kind of a port it is. It looks like it's direct from PC because it's got PC controls on the keyboard. I couldn't get. I've got the mouse attached, and I know the mouse is working because I checked it with War Thunder. But I can't do anything with the mouse in this game. But I can with the keyboard. And like I said, it's made changing the views a lot easier. You might not have noticed, but I've not been going to the little pop-up menu that you get by pressing your stick down. This is last stop as well, so there won't be much left of this video. And I get a lot of XP. It's like 1700 XP showing, that 17,000 rather XP showing, and top of the screen, top right under the screen when the scenario ends. But I only get awarded 6,000. Awesome. That's 6,350 at the moment. So I'm trying to get accurate when we stop in here. See, I'm doing these. I started talking about earlier about doing. You see, I'm doing these videos and getting these captures while I'm still playing game. There's a very good chance by the time that you actually get to see this video that I won't be playing this game anymore. So I don't get bored. I don't think I'll be buying any more downloadable packs. I think they're too expensive for what you get. But then again, you know, this is just another game to me. Some people will absolutely love trains. I just like the sort of simulation and learning how to do it and how to work all these things. But some people would absolutely love it, wouldn't they? You know, like when I play Forza or whatever, there's specific tracks like Le Mans, the old style long one, and I like the lower classes, you know, because they're not as forgiving, are they? If you lose speed on a lower class car, it takes you a long time to make that speed back up. And also you got to tune your car for maximum on that great big long straight. This is at Le Mans, and that makes a huge difference to your lap time. You can gain 5, 6, 7 seconds down there just by coming out of the bend before that long straight. Just by coming out of that 1 or 2 mile an hour faster, you can make a lot of time down that long straight. It's miles long. But that's one of the sort of technical things that I like doing, you see. And whereas some people are going to like to just be train drivers, aren't they? So I could mess about with that door, you see, if I wanted. What I'm doing here, I'm testing out the motion blur. I'll stop near the flag here. And on the Xbox, when you do that, when you're moving that, you know, sideways, you know, when the screen's going sideways, it blurs. But looking at this video on this, I'm not sure it's doing that on the video, which is a bit weird. I might have explained that badly. Basically, when you're panning from right to left, for argument's sake, and you're looking at some writing, like the exit there or whatever, or the Amtrak sign on the outside, it looks blurry on the Xbox, and then when you stop, it suddenly comes into focus. But it doesn't look like that on this editing software. It just looks like it's clear all the time. So there may be an effect as you're playing that's not getting recorded on the Xbox capturing. But then you can see the wheels are blurry. The blurry wheels that look all blocky, I've looked on the forums, that's supposed to do with the motion blur, and that's been taken out from PC. It's an option now. They used to hack the .ini file, the .ini file on the PC. If you know about PCs, you'll know what that means. It's like the old bat files and stuff like that. You used to have to do that to actually get games working, alter your bat files and stuff. But that was like a long time ago. You'd make boot discs and things. So I do actually know about that kind of thing. So they've been hacking the .ini files, and then people have been complaining, well, it doesn't work. F2's Control F2 turns the motion blur off, and people have been complaining on forums. This is back in 2017. I think that's before it even came on Xbox. That, oh no, it doesn't work, and they're saying, well, you got to put your .ini file back to how it was. You see, I had a lot of XP and now I haven't. I've got a little picture. I might add it on end. Just the sort of like my sort of character before this mission and after it. But it might be pointless because I had a couple of failures. So I don't know if it's added the XP to me, because it does add the XP. You see, it does add XP even when you fail the scenario. You still get your XP. Anyway, if you've watched, look at that, was on time for all of them. In fact, it was before time. See how it made me wait? That's typical of this game. It makes you wait until it's good and ready. So thanks for watching. Bye.